Carrie from Tone Wars. We're going to go live in just a few minutes, but before we do, I just wanted to take a few seconds to say a few things. Jared and I really appreciate when you guys tune in and interact with us when we go live. We work very hard to make sure that our live streams and our produced videos are educational and entertaining for everyone. Believe it or not, there's a lot of work that goes into our live streams and our produced videos. So if you like what you're experiencing here, here's a couple ways you can help us out. The Super Chat feature is turned on, and any amount will be appreciated. Jared is also available for private consultation for a nominal fee. You can contact Jared through two of the links below. One is through our Tone Wars Facebook page, and the other is through email. So thank you so much for your support. The live stream's about ready to start, so go pour yourself your favorite glass of whiskey or other libation, and we'll be right with you. Cheers!
Welcome to Tone Wars. Hey everybody.
Hi!
We be live. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Welcome to Tone Wars.
Yes.
I'm Carrie, and this is Jared.
What's happening?
Right?
Yes, cheers.
Cheers. Whiskey
Cheers
time.
to all you guys. Yes. We have a lot to cover tonight, don't we? Lots and lots to cover.
Yes, we do. Let's see. The agenda for the night. First off, viewer comments. We've got about 5 of them. Something special.
5 to talk about. We have a lot more than that, but we're just going to do 5 tonight.
We have some NAMM leaks. Leaks from NAMM.
Yep, some of these guys probably already know that, but what they are, but I think it would be fun to talk about them, and I want to get your guys' thoughts, especially on one of them in particular. It's going to be kind of a big one. Everybody's, got their own little, what's it going to be, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, yeah, it's going to be fun.
So, let's see. We have the Revv G20. We'll just say real quick, right?
Yep.
The Neural Quad Cortex.
Yep.
Said it right. Neural.
Yep.
And the Kemper Cab or Kemper Kone.
Yep, Kone. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Next thing we'll talk about is the gear that Jared's going to do a demo on Wednesday.
Yes.
His live interactive demos.
Yes.
We will talk about that. And then the last thing on the list is Neil Peart.
Yes.
Remembering Neil Peart.
Yes. Why don't we kick off the show with that? Let's give him priority tonight.
Yeah.
As I'm guessing everybody knows that he's passed, and I got up it was just a few days ago, and I was scrolling Facebook like I always do, and and I was just like, I kept seeing his picture, and I'm like, what's going on? And scrolling, and I'm like, what's going on with Neil Peart? And all of a sudden I stopped on one of them, and it says R.I.P. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me! Like, what?
Yeah.
And it literally stopped me in my tracks. I'm like,
stopped a lot of people. Facebook was blowing up about it, and
it was so sad.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked from it.
I know he was your favorite drummer.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite drummers. I mean, I was like the weirdo in junior high and high school that liked Rush, and everyone's like, what's this Rush thing? Because everybody was into Rat and Scorpions and Van Halen. And
those are all great bands.
Yeah, I liked them all too, but Rush was my jam. I mean, I was like a total Rush fanatic. I mean...
You're a musician's musician.
Yeah, exactly. So and it's oddly enough, I mean, I love Alex Lifeson. I love the whole band. I think they're all amazing, but I was a guitar player that appreciated the drums in that band more than I appreciated the guitar at times. It was crazy. And I remember being at, it was like one of those youth group things, and we were at this friend of mine's house. He lived on the river. He had this huge house. And we were playing pool, hot tub, it was a really fun night. And he had this music cranked in the basement, and it was 2112.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, who is this band? It was like early 80s, and he was like, oh, it's Rush, and that was my first taste of Rush, and I was like, we listened to Temple of Syrinx and just all these songs, and I'm just like, the drummer in this band is insane. Because especially at that time, I never heard drums being played like that. So it's just a total,
mind blown.
Yeah, it was like craziness. And we're all air drumming, playing pool, and we're just like, rewind that. And, like, oh my God, that's so cool. And so I remember, I think at the time, that's when Moving Pictures came out. And I kept hearing these songs on the radio, and I started putting two and two together. So I got Moving Pictures, and I mean, Tom Sawyer was amazing, but I mean, I fell in love with all the other stuff more.
I have a sneeze coming, so I'm really sorry if it's horribly timed. Like switching my nose.
Do this. This always takes them away. So like I'm digging like Limelight. I'm digging Red Barchetta was like my favorite song on the whole album. YYZ, and then Camera Eye was like that. I ended up falling in love with that song, and I just loved how Neil constructed the songs and how he adjusted all of the tempos and the feel of the songs, and how he would take verse 1 and make it a certain way, and then verse 2 would be completely different. Even though some of the other instruments played some of the similar stuff as verse 1, he would construct it differently, and I just never heard stuff like that before.
Didn't he was also the lyricist for the band, right?
Yes. Yeah, I found that out later, like as I got to know the lyrics. I'm like, because the lyrics were really intriguing to me. They weren't just like, oh, I got drunk last night, got in a fight, and chicks are beautiful, and lipstick, and it was just like, whatever,
Which is all good stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I got caught up in the lyrics because, like, the story in 2112, and it made me think, and I was kind of like, I liked how in-depth everything was, and I always wondered, like, what did Limelight really mean, and, like, all that kind of stuff, and I really got into all that, and then I started getting their whole catalog. I got, the Signals, I got, Permanent Waves, and fell in love with that. I mean, and I was always the odd guy, like, everyone else is jamming to like, all these other bands and Poison and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like so into Rush, and I got my friends kind of into it. They were like, after a while, they're like, all right, this is pretty cool.
You broke them down.
Yeah. But I always loved the interviews with the band whenever, cause Neil was always kind of a, an anomaly. He wasn't always like out there, So whenever you saw an interview with Neil, it was always very interesting, and he talked like a poet. He spoke so eloquently all the time, and just the way the words he chose and the way he used them, and you always felt like a more intelligent person after speaking to him, and he was so well read. He always read books while they was on tour, and rode his motorcycle or rode his bicycle and stuff, and he was just so different,
And he liked red wine as well, right? That was
they
his
were
thing.
all wine guys, all of them. So, I mean,
let's see what they're saying about it.
It's really cool, and go ahead, see if there's...
You can say hi to some people after this, too. Just while we're on this topic, I've got a R.I.P. Neil Peart from High Roller.
Yeah.
We've got a damn shame that he's gone from Berserkerland Studios.
Yeah, it really is.
He also said, for my generation, he influenced all of us as drummers. He was the influence.
Yeah, he was, and still is, I mean, the guy will never be outdated. No one will ever look at Neil Peart's playing and go,
classic for sure,
like oh well, that was then and this is now, and like everybody does that now, and it's like, no, Neil was a beast, way ahead of his time, and in fact, he's so far ahead of his time that the way he played, his style, his technique, and everything will never be outlived. It'll never be passed up, and he influenced probably every drummer out there, because it's kind of like, if you're a drummer and you don't know who Neil Peart is, like, how long have you been playing? Like a week, because like it's the same thing with like, if you're a guitar player and you don't know who Eddie Van Halen is, like, then I guess you haven't played the instrument long enough, right?
Haven't done enough research.
Yeah, because Neil is like, and he was so good and so humble at the same time that he actually went and relearned how to play drums from the basics, and he actually used the match grip technique, and then he switched to traditional after he took lessons from a guy. I mean, can you imagine a guy like Neil Peart, if you're a drum teacher, him walking into your place and being like, I'm here to take some lessons, and I would be like, You mean you're here to give lessons? Because I don't. What can I show you?
Yeah.
Like you're the freaking, you're the master. Like so, that really speaks to his humility,
Right.
and all that. So, and he was very shy. So some people, when they met him, they'd get all like,
Just
"Oh,
like
Neil
you,
Peart."
right? Just like Jared,
Yeah.
so shy.
So shy. But he was so shy, and then anytime people weirded him out with all the accolades and the compliments, it weirded him out.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they're being escorted out of the room because he just wanted to be treated like a dude.
Regular.
And that's why when he went on his motorcycle tours and stuff like that, he kept his helmet on. He wrote a whole book about it. Like, I'm pumping gas, I got my helmet on, and no one can recognize me. And people are coming up to me as I'm pumping gas on my bike and just going, "Hey, nice bike," and blah, blah, blah. And they're just talking about everything but humping
Neil
his
Peart,
leg because he's Neil Peart, because they didn't know who he was. And he enjoyed that so much, So I just think that's such an interesting, a lot of interesting facts about Neil,
They're saying High Roller 2112 is epic, his favorite Rush, super trippy. He also said Rush was known for reading books in the hotel after gigs instead of partying.
They were so boring.
And then he said, let's see what else that's down there. Monty 442, what up, peeps? Neil Peart will forever be missed. Aaron Lucas, F Cancer.
Yeah, totally.
Jay's here, Warm Chord Music.
Hey,
one
what's
of the
up,
most
Jay?
influential drummers ever.
He really is.
Yeah.
I mean, and 20 years from now, people will still say that. 50 years from now, people will still say that,
I feel like this might be the wrong time to say it, but the Chicago Todd says the super chat doesn't appear to be working. Do you need to turn something on, or?
It should be working, yeah. I appreciate the heads up on that, but it should be working. I don't know. Yeah, it should, I don't know, maybe.
Feel free to test it out for us.
Yeah, it's probably like, sometimes it glitches, because I've done it for other channels, and it'll be like, something will glitch, and I try a couple more times, and it works. But I appreciate the heads up on that. Thank you, and hello.
Yeah, let's go back. We can say hi to some people. Paul Smith said he made it on time tonight. He
What's
wasn't
up,
late.
Paul?
Paul's here.
Good to see you.
Helix Banana.
Hey, Darren, how you doing, man?
There's Derek Merrill.
Hey, Derek.
Aaron Lucas. We already
What's up,
talked
Aaron?
about Berserkerland.
Berserkerland, what's up, man?
Jeremy Armstrong.
Hey, Jeremy.
And the rest of you I mentioned.
Oh,
we got
good.
Jay and High Roller and.
Glad everybody's here. Thank you so much. Share your favorite songs, by Rush, and what you liked about them, and maybe even like your favorite parts of the songs that Neil was a part of. I mean, I've been to several of their concerts, and drummers in the group, please don't hate on me for saying this, but a lot of times during the drum solos, I would just go get a beer or go to the bathroom or whatever. And no disrespect to the drummers, but it was just because it was like drum wankery. It was just
wankery.
Look how fast I can hit my drums, but there wasn't anything really musical about it. But with Neil, it was more of a symphony of drums, and you can almost hear a real symphony behind him, because he'd do eras during his drum solos. He'd do some crazy stuff. He'd do some technical stuff. He'd do some big band stuff. He would do some Mamba stuff. I mean, he would just almost travel the world.
Anything you knew, threw it in there.
He would travel the world on his drum kit, and you could tell what country he was in depending on what part of the drum solo that he was playing. And it was amazing what the guy could do. And it was musical. It had rhythm. It had almost melody to it, and it was the only drummer that I could sit through a drum solo on, because I could feel the melody going on along with what he was playing, because it wasn't just, look at my fast snare roll, look at my fast double bass and my blast beats and stuff. And yes, that all takes skill, but at the end of the day, you might talk about like that guy was really fast, but with Neil, you remember what he played. It's a song in your head. And I never wanted to miss those drum solos. I mean, they were just
big on
amazing.
That. You really are. I know when we write music together, you're going in a direction, and I know I should trust you by now, but I'm always like, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on, but...
I know. When are you going to start trusting? Like, have I ever let you down?
It always works out in the end.
It does, but I always have the drums in my head.
Yes, you do.
And it's like, it's a thing that's just, and I think that when I
It's
listen,
a gift. You have a gift, and it's probably something similar to what was going on in his head.
I'm the best drummer in the world up here. But as soon as you put sticks in my hands, I'm an idiot, you know. But a lot of that, honestly, that influence in my head, as far as a writer goes, came from Neil. I mean, I loved how he wrote lyrics. I love the story-esque type thing. I love, and you know just as well as I do, when I write lyrics, I'm always on the computer going thesaurus.com and Rhyme Zone and looking up more colorful, better, mature words to use as opposed to, you know, just the simplistic kind of words. I always try to find a more colorful, bigger word for something, and that came from Neil Peart. Except I cheated. I went online and looked for these, and he read them in books.
Right.
Because he read very...
You're not much of a reader. He's like a listen to the books, right? What
yeah,
do you call
I listen
that?
to
Audio.
books. Yeah, Audible.
Audible.
Yeah, and Neil was
does.
very well read. So he was a much better version of that, obviously. But and his drumming, you know, like I when I wrote music, I would always, and you know this too, if you guys listen to our music, Anastasi, the first verse is typically different than the second verse. It's the same thing, except I mix it up with the drums and the instrumentation, and I got that from Rush.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, that's I stole a lot of stuff from them. So,
let's see. You asked people to put in their favorite.
oh, cool.
Jay from Warm Chord Music says the drum fill in the intro of Digital Man is one of his favorites.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Jeremy Armstrong, thanks for the super
Oh,
chat.
thank
Apparently
you.
it's working. I'm really sorry, Chicago Todd. We can't take your money tonight.
Well, thank you so much. We
Thanks
really
for
appreciate
trying,
that. Yeah,
though.
thank you. Really means the
Let's
world
see.
to us.
Berserkerland Studios. Peart's drums were tuned to a scale and very much meant to be part of melody in Rush songs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He would pick drums. So, like, when he was accenting things, he would pick a drum tuned a certain
I
way
see.
to accent the guitars. So if the guitars went up, the drums went up with it. Same thing with down. And Mike Mangini actually follows that.
That's cool.
You know, so that's a great thing. And then I think if you guys also, I'd like to see which album had his best drum sound on it. In my opinion, it was Moving Pictures. Not that all the other ones weren't good.
Yeah.
They were all amazing, but I love his drum sound in Moving Pictures. In fact, if there was a way to sample those drums, I think a lot of drummers would be like, I'll take the Moving Pictures samples. Thank you very much. The snare had such a good crack to it. The kick, all of them, they just sounded so crisp and so perfect. And that's something that I've always been very fussy about when I listen to music.
Super fussy.
Yeah, well, if the drums sound like cardboard boxes, I don't care how good the songwriting is, I can't listen to it because I'm so distracted with you're hitting cardboard boxes, you know. But Neil's drums were always just absolutely amazing sounding. So,
Let's see. Jeff Cornell, the professor and master, his playing is a timeless classic.
Really is.
Aaron Lucas, look at all Neil went through in the 90s with losing a wife and a daughter, then coming back just as inspiring as before with Vapor Trails and Snakes and Arrows, shows his strengths as a person.
Yeah,
for sure.
It really does, you know. And I remember seeing I have the DVD of that concert and all the the behind the scenes on that. I found, and I'm that guy. I prefer the behind the scenes on DVDs more than the concert itself. It's weird, but that's just the way I am.
I'll watch a movie and he'll be like, "Yeah, and you know how they did this, and you know how they did that, and he had to diet for 6 months and get up at 4 a.m. every." You can tell what kind of movies it is. No, but he is. He does. He loves that behind the scenes.
Love that stuff so much. I'm such a nerd, you know, and it was just cool that. Like, the band was so, like, understanding that when he had to go ride around the country on his motorcycle and just get this stuff out of him and cleanse himself and just be a guy and just wash himself of everything, because that's horrible what he went through. And then they were like, we're not playing without him. Yeah. And they went hiatus for, I think it was 4 years. They were like, not doing it. And he would send them postcards every once in a while and check in with them. And it's just so cool that they were that tight as people. You know, that they would not tour without him. And at the same time, when he came back, I mean, he came back with a vengeance. Yeah. I mean, he had worked out all of the stuff, or at least enough to come back. And then when he got behind that kid again, I'm sure that kid was glad to see him, but scared at the same time. you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just amazing, you know, what, you know, what he went through. And what a story, you know, what a story for that man, you know. And he's going to be missed. You know, he's going to be missed dearly. Can you imagine his bandmates?
Yeah. Again.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Geddy and Alex have to be just, you know, crushed over that, you know. And
You can't make me cry because I have to read the words. Okay.
I mean, my heart goes out to them, his family, the band, you know, his friends. It's just really sad.
High Roller, his favorite Moving Pictures. Moving Pictures was known for its rare triple D recording style. Jay says, Counterparts is his favorite drum sound. Great to hear some Rush talk. We did the same thing for their upcoming podcast episode in Movies, Music, and Beer.
Yeah, tag me in that when you release it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear your guys' stories about it, you know.
He said they're truly an underappreciated band.
Yes. They were known as the biggest band that no one's ever heard of, you know.
Berserkerland Studios Moving Pictures, because the album is so iconic. There's something to be said about albums like that setting the tone for what you as a musician look for in your own music.
Yep.
Might not be the best drum sound or guitar tone, but it was such a moment in history that you want it for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and I've watched all of their movies, you know, and I watched Time Stand Still. I watched, you know, the other ones, the Vapor Trails one, or Snakes and Arrows one, and the one before that, God, it's just leaving my mind right now, but the one they put out before Time Stand Still, Gilded Cage, Beyond the Gilded Cage. And I loved their story because, okay, let's just talk about this for a second. These are three beasts of musicians, like monstrous, like ridiculous musicians. No drugs, no weird stuff going on, no partying, you know.
At least they kept things under wraps.
Yeah, they kept things normal.
Yeah.
And they're kind of nerdy, and I say that with the greatest amount of respect. Everybody knows that. You know, and then they go on tour, and all these women are walking around hotels because they toured with Kiss, and Kiss is like, you know, women everywhere, and Rush is locked up in their rooms practicing and reading and you know, doing homework or playing checkers. I don't know what the hell they were doing.
Not getting diseases. That's what they were doing.
Exactly. And all these women are like, what the hell is up with these guys? Aren't you a rock band? Like, you know, so, but here's the thing that's so cool. So they go on, you know, their tours and stuff, and they started having issues with their record company, and they were like, they called it the Down the Tubes tour.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was on Caress of Steel, and they were just like, things weren't happening, and, you know, the record company wants us to write an album that sounds like Bad Company and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like,
wrong.
I don't think so. And you know what they did? They went in and wrote 2112.
Yeah.
And that was basically their parting shot,
Right.
giant
Shove off.
30-story tall middle finger to the record company and all the executives there. It was just like, oh yeah, you want Bad Company? Here's your freaking Bad Company. Yeah. And you could stick it wherever you want, you know? And they put, and it was like their attitude was in that album.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like total rebellious, but very restrained, like refined music. And it's like, how did they, it was just like the perfect blend of everything, you know? And it was like, that was what launched them. And Neil even said after that, the record company was like, because they took off, you know, and after that, Neil said the record company was just like, you guys just do whatever you want. And he said, and he called it, that was the Passepartout.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is, but the key, I don't know,
Yeah.
but that's what the word he used. And he said, that was our, you know, get out of whatever.
Jail free.
Yeah, like you guys go do your thing. You proved it. And I love the fact that, you know, it really spoke to me because it's like, if you're a musician or if you're anybody doing anything and you have it within your heart to do something and you know that you know what you're doing and you're good at it and you believe in yourself enough and you got all these executives and know-it-alls around you that have their own interests, you know, involved, and you see through that and they're advising you And it was just so cool that they just told them all to take a flying leap, and they were like, screw you guys, we're doing this. And I love that album so much, not only because of the music, but because of the attitude that was behind it, you know. So God bless Rush, you know, and R.I.P. Neil, you know.
We have a couple more
Gonna be missed.
comments. Brian Nick. I haven't seen Brian Nick's
Oh,
name here
hello,
before.
Brian.
My favorite Rush track is Red Sector A. Neil was able to take stories told to him by Geddy's parents about being in concentration camps and turn them into a song of strength and survival.
Wow, that's just...
Chicago Todd, thank you for the super chat. You got it to work.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Very much appreciate that.
Let's see. Berserkerland Studios, the great thing is that no one can talk smack about him. He went out a gentleman.
Yeah.
Beyond the lighted stage. I got turned on to, this is from Berserkerland, I got turned on to Max Webster. Half of Rush played with him on an album. It was like Rush, but heavier. Interesting.
Interesting,
Have to check that out.
Yeah, well.
The Time Machine Blu-ray looks and sounds amazing. Their performance of Free Will on that performance is epic from Jay.
Oh, I gotta get that Blu-ray. I was talking to Jay about that before. Like, I got to get the Blu-ray of I was at the Time Machine tour, and I remember we had like general, like, where you have to stand. And you know I am with that. I hate... It was 3 hours.
He will not stay at a concert if
won't.
he has to stand. It doesn't even matter if it's Dream Theater or Rush. Doesn't matter. No, we don't stand. We sit.
Yep. I treat concerts like movies.
Yeah.
I want front row balcony because I can see everything and nobody's standing in front of me.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to like stand because they're standing, but I don't want to be rude.
I can't tell you how many concerts I've been to where I'm staring at the person's butt in front of me.
It's like, you know, you almost want to pick the seat with the best butt in front of you. Like, can you stand up, please? Because I know I'm going to be staring at that for the next 3 hours. That's a 10. That's a... No butts. No granny butt. I want... Anybody do yoga here? You know, so it's like, that's what I want. But... so I'm in general and standing, and I actually had to go to security, and I was like, there's a whole bunch of seats like up in the balcony off to the side. Yeah. And I was like, can I sit up there? They're like, yeah, go ahead, but we'll have to bring you up there. So I sat there and I watched Alex do all his guitar changes and all the behind the scenes stuff that I love, and I got to see the concert, and I caught I missed one song to do this, but I caught Camera Eye, which I wanted to see live because they never play it live hardly. And I knew they were going to play it live that night. And I got to catch it. And they just sounded incredible. And Alex is a huge goofball. He kept running over to Geddy's mic and singing stuff. And it was just, but it was appropriate. It wasn't annoying. It was funny. And all their intros to all their concerts were all just absolutely hilarious. And it was just great how you saw three guys that were probably arguably the best musicians out there, period, ever. At all of their craft, and together they were unstoppable. But they don't take themselves so seriously. You know, they go on stage and they're just a bunch of goofy dudes. Yeah, and it was like, how hilarious, how awesome is that? You know, so it just made you, like, there's no way to not love these guys. Right.
I don't want to leave Aaron Lucas out. He said no amount of time is too much to spend on Neil, but it'd also be nice to discuss how innovative Bieber is. Just trying to lighten the mood.
Well, Bieber made autotune live a thing, so he's definitely brought autotune to the stage.
Thank you for the super the super chat, Jay. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you so much.
We could use a super cat too.
Yeah, you got enough cats. You don't need any more. Sahara La Luna really wants you to do a fight between the Kemper and the Quad Cortex.
Oh,
trust me.
trust
I sent it 3 times in a row.
Trust me, it's coming. Yeah. I got friends that are going to get the Quad Core, and when it comes, you bet your rear end, it's going to be a fight night here with the Kemper. Yep, we are going to throw down that night. So keep your eyes peeled because it will happen.
Xander says he hopes Geddy and Alex write a tribute song without any drums or percussion.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, they're probably going to need a few months to get over this because you got to know that them guys are just completely just wrecked over this right now.
He was sick for a few years before this, right?
Yeah, I found out that, brain cancer, and it was like 3 years he had it, and I had a friend that had it, several years back, and he did not last that long. I mean, it took him very quickly. So when I heard it was brain cancer and he lasted 3 years with it, I was pretty surprised. But
Yeah.
I'm also not surprised that nobody knew because Neil is so private.
Private.
He's a very private, quiet person. So, I mean, I'm just, yeah, like I said, I'm still shocked. I'm still, just, and I don't want to sound overly emotional about this or anything.
Yeah,
Like,
you're fine.
I've never met Neil. But I could just say that he's a part of my life because I grew up listening to him.
He was
Like
a big
he was
influence.
part of my childhood and my teen years and beyond. Like I never lost touch with them, and I've been to lots and lots of their concerts. And
Well, I don't think that you're alone in that, so don't feel like you're a weirdo.
Yeah. So I mean, it's amazing how
Aaron
shocking
Lucas
it
says, any thoughts on the rumor of Getty and Alex hooking up with Portnoy?
They might do it as a tribute, you know what I mean? But I think that it would be cool, and I think Mike Portnoy would be very respectful about it and totally take it and carry the torch carefully and with a lot of respect for Neil.
Yeah.
And I think he would be humbled beyond belief to be able to fill those shoes to do something with them guys.
Right.
And I honestly think it would probably be more of a celebration as opposed to a continuance.
That's what I was hoping for. Yeah, celebration.
Let's celebrate the music, and Mike would play it note for note.
Right.
And not go outside of, what Neil did. And I think that would be really cool. And I would, if they played here, I would go see that in a heartbeat.
Sure.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah. Are there other comments before we move on to the next?
That was the last one.
I mean, we could go all night about this,
But we don't have all night.
Yeah, I mean, we could honestly go all night about Neil and how much he meant to the music industry, how much he meant to drums, how much he meant to music and musicians, reading poetry, being intelligent, being a great guy, suffering and coming back and being the comeback kid, and just being a respectful, awesome, decent human being. I mean, there's just so many things that we could say, but I mean, rest in peace, Neil, and much love and respect for you and yours, and F cancer, you know what I mean?
All right. So moving on. It's a rough move on. It's an awkward moving on to
I know,
the next.
it sucks that we have to go and do a show now, but I didn't want to do the show without honoring
Sure.
Neil Peart. So,
all right. So we're going to move on to some viewer comments that we got over the week. The first one is from Brandon Schmimke. I hope that's how you say it. Schmimke?
I don't know.
He says, I think an amp that deserves a demo is a powered by Omega amp. Plus, it's a local company and they sound unreal.
Yes, and shout out to Mike Hasty from Walls of Jericho. He knows the owner of, he's friends with the owner of Omega, and I reached out to Omega via their website. They got like a contact us and fill out a form thing, and I sent that. But
your favorite.
My favorite thing to do, email and write words now. There's no phone number, otherwise I'd do that. But here's the thing, they're probably at NAMM. So I'm not expecting to hear back from them anytime soon, and it's bad timing because they're going to come back from NAMM. And my email is going to be like 80 pages down, so someone's going to have to go in there with a shovel and find my email.
Maybe just send another one.
I will. Yeah. I'll send another one. But if everything works out, Omega Amps will be on here because I watched some videos about them, and Mike Hasty has really good taste in tone and amps and stuff. And he was like, dude, I'm going to warn you.
Yeah.
If you get one of those things in your house, you're going to buy one.
Yeah.
I'm willing to take the chance. So
let's see. Andrew Stonerock says, Mike, the owner from Omega, is on the road with Slipknot right now. But yes, the name was a thing they are doing. Oh, NAMM? NAMM was a thing they were doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want one of those amps here bad. So I understand that they have amps that are like 2.5 channel, and they also have 2-channel amps. One of the things that I noticed about their amps that was really cool was they have a channel that's already pushed
Yeah.
inside. It's like it's a tight, very percussive channel, but then they have a loose version of that channel. It's voiced a little differently, and my in-ears turned up because I switched spots on my chair here. I was like, why am I so loud? My butt's screwing me over here. What's cool is like it allows you to have a looser amp so that you can tighten it up with an overdrive pedal on your own. So I thought that was really cool, and I want to see how tight this thing is because I like my tight amps. So we'll see what's what here.
Ready for the next?
Yes, I am.
All right, this one is from Return to Coda. Since you've been playing real amps again, you should see if Motor City Guitar will let you demo or review the Boss Tube Amp Expander or the Oxbox. I recently purchased the Tube Amp Expander, and it was a game changer for me. I have not played my Kemper since. I've been playing all my amps again and able to do so without cabs and just headphones or through cabs, but with huge sounds at bedroom level.
Yes, I definitely want to get, and I appreciate the comment and the suggestion very much. Yes, I do want to do that. In fact, Jay is watching tonight. Warm Chord Music. You have an Oxbox, if I remember correctly. So I want to get the Tube Amp Expander as well, and really dive deep into these and see how they can be utilized and like what the benefits are, because I'm more of a try it, get my hands on it, and like really like get the benefits, because conceptually, like when I read about benefits of things, I mean, I get it, but it's like it only intrigues me enough to try it, but not to be a believer. But trying it makes me a believer.
Yeah.
Like, and stuff like that. As soon as I try it, I'll be like, son of a, and now I got to buy that, So it's like, but I do want to try that and have it on the show and go over all the features.
Let's see. But I want to do that. Andrew Stonerock, Obsidian is multi-channel. Iridium is a one-channel high-gain beast. And then he said another Iridium, and technically Omega had it first.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're changing the name of that to something else, maybe because there's too many Iridiums. But I think that's the one they're changing the name of. Somebody mentioned that to me. I just think it's really cool. And Mike's more of a one-channel guy. He just plays full gain, just, balls out beastly kind of stuff all night, where I need at least two. I need a clean and a dirty, and then I can find the sweet spot on the dirty that will suffice for leads and rhythm. Live and then studio, I would adjust the gain accordingly for what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm still interested, in checking out their stuff, because especially if you do a lot of recording, having a beast like that in the studio that can service, a great mix. I mean, I think it's really important to have.
All right. Our third one is from David Campos. Jared, how did you set the clean channel on the PV? I've been seeing a lot of reviews for it lately, and yours is the cleanest tone I've heard so far. Keep up rocking, and thanks for the vids.
Hey, thank you very much, and I appreciate your the kind words and the question. I mean, basically, he's talking about the PV 6505 Mini. That little mini head that I had. That thing was a little terror. That thing was ridiculous. Yeah. And so I think on that one, I just turned the gain down quite a bit, because there's two, the problem I think with a lot of people is when they have those amps, they feel like, I got to turn the gain up on the clean channel to get the volume I need, and have the volume at a normal setting, which is like, between 3 and 5, or 10 o'clock and noon, and they feel uncomfortable putting it past noon. But the problem is gain gives you dirt, and you don't want the dirt on the clean channel.
Right.
So, or it'll give you some aggressive top end that just doesn't sound good, and you get kind of plucky when you're in, and it's just, the notes are really sharp. So what I did is I turned the gain quite a bit down. I think I had it at like 7 o'clock or maybe 8 o'clock. And then I just attenuated the volume, to kind of attenuate for that. I just adjust, the volume higher than you normally would, but it was clean.
Yeah.
It was chimey, warm, and clean, and it got rid of any of that harshness that the gain knob will give you. So that's basically what I did. I think the other settings were basically normal. It was probably, everything was like 12 o'clock, Probably the bass is like, I don't know, 11 o'clock, mids at 12, and then maybe the treble at, I don't know, 1 o'clock at the most. And it just gave me a really good tone. And another hint, when you're using any amplifier, no matter what it is, on your clean channel, put a compressor in front of that thing. Put it in front of that. That way, especially when you're live, all your notes are pretty much the same level. You're not going to sting anyone's ears with any shocking kind of, because your adrenaline's going, you pluck a string a little harder, and you're like, ow,
Yeah,
So,
nothing worse.
yeah, and it softens your notes up a little bit, and it gives you a softer, little rounded off kind of sound. So you're guaranteed not to hurt your audience's ears. It's a more pleasant sound, and you get more sustain and more, like your notes will ring better. And if you're doing harmonics and stuff, they give it that kind of warm, kind of feel, and you get a better reaction out of when you're playing your guitar. There's a better reaction between you and the amp. So I would suggest that, although I didn't use that in that live stream, but it still sounded really good without it.
We have a couple comments on here about an old comment that I had read earlier. It's from Jay. Oxbox is pretty cool. Curious if anyone has used a Riviera Silent Sister isolation box for quiet recording. I really want to go back to miking amps again and keep it organic. And then Aaron Green, have you seen or heard of the Hook Wizard amp?
No. I've heard of the Wizard amps, but not Hook Wizard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Thanks for the heads up. I'll have to look into those. I've seen a lot of
Paul David
people talking about
reviewed the
Wizard.
Hook, Aaron said.
Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll look into that.
Let's
for
see.
Sure.
Xander, to our wonderful hosts in the group, recently got a 5153 EL34 and have been running the preamp out into XFX for cabs. How much different using a reactive load box to get the power amp stage?
What was that again? Thanks for the kind words, by the way. I just want to make sure.
He said he recently got the 5153 EL34 and have been running the preamp out into XFX for cabs.
Oh, okay.
How much difference using a reactive load box to get the power amp stage?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. Jay from Warmcord, have you ever tried that? Because I have never tried that. I don't know how much difference that would make with IRs. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, you got me stumped on that because I've never tried it.
Yeah.
And as a lot of you guys know, I don't answer questions based on theories because I don't want to mislead anybody.
That's
right. And
if
I do answer it based on theories, I'll tell you in theory. But I couldn't even give you a theoretical answer on that. I'm really sorry, but I appreciate the question.
Return Dakota thanked us for reading his comment.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Of course. Thank you for commenting.
All right. There's two more comments. So this one, G Player 14. Just a word of advice. I'm going to start that again because it's not a word.
Oh.
It's just a word of advice, my friend. Please make some new riffs when you demo. Don't get me wrong. I like your riffs and songs, but it's getting tiring hearing the same riffs all over again every single video. I got to the point I just fast forward when you are demoing. For all I care, you can take any Dream Theater or other band song and play it, and it will be great. I like your videos and have watched all of them.
Well, what was his name?
G Player 14.
G Player 14. I totally understand where you're coming from. I really do, because I get tired of hearing my own riffs. I mean, I'm definitely aware that I want to keep it fresh. I want to give you guys fresh content every time. But here's the thing. I go live every Wednesday with a new piece of gear, and I have to demo that. And everybody, the number one thing that people ask me when I've done demos in the past is, how does it sound in a mix?
Yes.
And then so I started going, well, I guess I got to put this stuff in mixes, and I got to create some backing tracks, and I got to do this and that. And I'll be happy to do that for you, but the studio that I do a lot of this stuff at is an hour away, and I'm sure there's closer ones as well, but it is what it is right now. And then I have
You're working on it though.
Yeah,
You're doing it.
Exactly. I am doing it. I just got a new mix back yesterday that I have. So basically how it works is I gotta write some stuff.
It's so funny how you handle this so well, and I'm the one that's like Usually
Well-
I'm the calm one, and I'm like, now, Jared, let's
Well-
think about it like this. And you're like,
Well, the thing is, though, is I understand where he's coming from, the thing is I'm well aware of it. You know,
Yeah.
I trust me. Like before, 3 weeks before he made this comment,
and it's true.
I was
He's
already
been
thinking it,
telling me for a long
Yeah.
time, I've got to go make some more. I got to go make some
yeah.
more. So.
But what happens is I have to write the part,
Yeah.
so I have to write something that's a minute to a minute and a half long. Okay, then I got to go. You know, I have to write several of them. Okay, and then I
Okay.
have to go an hour. I have to schedule an appointment with a studio. I got to drive down
Steps.
there. I have to exactly. I got to drive down there, bring my stuff, and then we got to go in there and construct everything. Put the drums to it,
And
the
go
bass.
to Starbucks.
Yeah,
And go get an omelet.
get lunch, get
and go
this,
get pizza.
and I got to pay this guy money out of my pocket to make this stuff happen, so that I can do demos on my live streams for you
Thank
guys.
you so much for the super chats, by the way.
Yeah, they
'cause
help.
This
That's where they go.
That's where they go.
When I get them. If I don't get them, I still have to pay. So, anyways, and then I have to have it mixed and sent to me. Okay, and then and there's always, and this is no slight to anybody running a studio, but there's always something that needs to be changed. So then I got to listen to it, and then I got to practice to it, and go, oh, that's too loud, or that's okay. I need this way and that way, and then a couple
More
days later, I
steps.
get that more steps, more pain in the rear end, and then I finally get it, and then I got to load it into this iPad here, and then I got to rehearse to it for at least 3 or 4 days.
And you have to pee at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So at some point I have to use the bathroom. And so, so you know, I mean, because I'm not just going to get tracks and then come down here and go live and go, hey, because I can't do that. I'm not that good. I have to practice this stuff because I don't want to crap the bed live while I'm demoing
I don't
gear.
think you would ever want to do that recorded either.
No. Either way, that would be bad. I would edit that out if I did that, but the thing is, though, is it takes a lot. It's not just like, oh, I need backing tracks. I got backing tracks. It doesn't work that way. It takes weeks,
And
you know?
sometimes maybe he thought we were bigger than what we are. I mean, if you're a corporation and you've got a team of people working for you,
Yeah.
then those things come easily. But just
You're
a
looking
dude,
at the
we're
I'm
just dudes.
this is the guy that does everything regarding the technical stuff, the
Yeah.
recording, the writing, all that. She takes care of a lot of things as well, but when it comes to backing tracks and stuff like that, I got to do a lot. And so again, I'm well aware that it has to happen, and I want it to happen because I don't want to go live every Wednesday with the same songs. That's stupid. You know, after a while, people are going to be like, "Oh, that one again."
Well, at
You
least
know?
you're able to demo the songs. And for now, it is what it is.
Yeah,
You're working on it.
Exactly, I'm working on it.
All right, our last comment from Anthony Miller. This is one that you sent me, and I'm gonna read this word for word.
Yeah, just read it word for
Reading it word for word. So Anthony Miller, ain't watched the whole video, but I would have used the effects loop for time effects. Boost goes in front, but I wouldn't put nothing else in front. It changes the quality of the effects.
I appreciate the comment, and I agree with part of what you said. Respectfully, as I proved in, I think it was that video. I think
Yeah.
it was the video where I was talking about 4-cable method on the Helix. There are effects that sound different when you put them either in front of or behind the amp. In other words, in the effects loop. Flangers are one, phasers are another, you know. So, and sometimes chorus pedals. So, like John Petrucci puts a chorus pedal in front of his amp, you know. He's John Petrucci. So, no one questions what John Petrucci does. Or else he'll snap your string, as he did the other day.
I think we met or we didn't meet him, but we found somebody last night, right? That
Oh, yes, he
questioned
questioned John Petrucci. Well, Satan's waiting for you. But, you know, there's different places to put effects. So, in other words, if I have on my Helix right now that I run 4-cable method in my amps, I have a flanger both before and after the amp, because sometimes I want that washy, you know, thing with a phaser or flanger, and you do it after the amp for that. But if you want like a swirl, you put it in front. So, and it's common. That's what a lot of people have done, you know. So, yes, time-based effects, in other words, like delays and stuff, with very little exceptions, you will put them in the effects loop, not in front of the amp, unless it's like an Echoplex and stuff like that. But that's not done that much anymore. Yes, I get you put the time stuff after, but there's always exceptions. And I don't think that putting a flanger or a phaser in front of and behind an amp, in other words, in the effects loop, is anything very odd. I think it's pretty common, depending on what you're going for. And it doesn't affect the sound quality at all. It just affects how it sounds, but the quality is the same. It's just a different type of effect that you're getting out of the same pedal. So that's why I do that.
Xander says, just an idea. I like that. Just an idea. Why not get some DIs from viewers ahead of time to have more riffing variety and different guitar signals?
I can do that. I can do that on, so I would have to reamp it and use it for recorded kind of things, which I can do. It's a good idea. I can use that on the show for like the recorded, edited kind of things that I do. So I'm open to that. And by the way, loosely on that note, I am going to post like the backing tracks that I use to demo stuff with on the channel. I'm actually like the solo parts. I'll post that up here soon, and you guys can download it and write your solo to it. And I'd like to see what you guys would do with those parts. Yeah, see how you guys interpret it. So I will be doing that soon. You guys can loop it on YouTube, play it as often as you want, write your own solos to it. And then what I would like to see you do is post your solo on your channel, and then email me the link to that, and then we'll have a night where we go through all your solos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on one of our live streams. We'll just play them right here.
About that.
Yeah, and just check them out. And I think that would be really fun. So, yeah. So, that's coming very soon.
Jay from Warren Chord Music says, running a preamp out from an amp into the Axe Effects will absolutely work. Just don't use an amp block. Use the cab block and load an impulse response, and you'll be good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've done the 4-cable thing, but the load and all that I haven't done yet.
He said just make sure you're powering down the amp with the real cab or a load box.
Gotcha. Yep.
And then Paul Smith, thank you for the super chat.
Hey, thanks, Paul. Appreciate it very much.
He says thanks for the great demos.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you like them.
And Jeff Cornell was joking earlier when we were talking about some point you're going to have to pee. He said, just wear Depends. Isn't that like a video game thing? Is it?
Well,
dudes.
I don't know. Probably. There's probably some guys that do that. Or like the SNL. Remember the SNL thing? Oops, I crapped my pants. It was the best skit. How do you know they work? Because I'm wearing them, and I just did.
So horrible.
Hell yeah, man. I should get some of those. Probably go to Kroger and get them.
We'll save you a step.
Price check on Oops, I Crap My Pants.
You're so terrible. All right, we ready? We're going to move on to NAMM leaks.
Yeah, let's do NAMM leaks,
Chad
guys.
Boston's here. Hi, Chad Boston.
Hey, what's up, Chad?
Checking
We're gonna do. What's up, Chad? Thanks for coming in. We're definitely gonna do some NAMM leaks now. That's gonna be fun too.
You didn't have. Oh, well, you put pictures of them in the. Thumbnail.
They know. Yeah, they're in the thumbnail.
Alrighty. So first one.
Yes.
Revv G20.
The Revv G20, which is.
And the Revv is one that I like. It's Carrie approved.
Yes. That's a great amp. I've heard many demos of it, and I think it sounds amazing. But I got to get my hands on one because I want to play it and see how it sounds for me and how it feels for me.
After NAMM.
Yep, after NAMM. I did reach out to Revv, and they said that they would be happy to send me one for one of my live streams on Wednesday nights after NAMM. But here's another interesting twist. So I went to Motor City Guitar, who is our sponsor, Motor City Guitar, and I went there. And
by the way, he wasn't itching. That says
Motor City Guitar. Yeah, so I went there and I talked to Marty and the guys at the counter, and I was just like, yeah, you guys ever thought about carrying, Revv and stuff? And Marty looked into it and he's like, yeah. He's like, I think we're going to start carrying them. So he's in talks with them right now at Motor City to see if they can start carrying the Revv amps, and I think they're gonna.
Yeah.
So Revv might not have to send me one.
They're going to need some big muscles.
Those amps are,
Super
the big ones are heavy. The little ones not, but the big ones are really heavy. But the thing is, though, is if Motor City starts carrying them, which is great for our community
Yeah.
because everybody around here loves Revv and they think they're great, but they're kind of hard to get sometimes, you know. So if Marty's got them available, I'm sure they'll come in and get them there, at least try them out, and we'll get to have one on the show.
Yay.
So either way, either if it comes from Revv or Motor City, doesn't matter to me.
We should have Jay bring his.
Oh, we will.
When we get it. Yeah, we should have him back.
Yeah, Jay's actually Jay has the Revv General 120.
Yeah.
He's got the mothership, and we are definitely going to have that on. I think we're going to have that on a Sunday night show where you're going to be here. So all three of us will be here.
And you can bring some weird beer for me to try again.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have a whole night with that. And I think that amp deserves its own show where we can just have a special, because I can't do Wednesday with it because it's hard for Jay to get here on Wednesday night. So we made a concession.
And because I'm not here.
Exactly. So we made a concession for Jay to have him come here and bring it on a Sunday night. Jay's awesome, and that amp is awesome too, so it's worth it.
We love both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on the Revv you want to share?
Well, it's a 20-watt 2-channel amp, and it's supposed to be an absolute monster. And I can't wait to get that thing in here, and I will. I'll go live. I'll put it in a mix. I'll do whatever. So
Jay told me to wear some red boots. You got it. I have some too.
It'll match his amp.
Yeah, I'll wear the red dress and the red boots.
All right, there you go.
Nice. All right, next, the Neural Quad Cortex, a modeling pedal.
Yes, that one is, let me turn our mic down just a hair. Yes.
Did my laugh, was that too loud?
A little bit. Yeah, I saw it
Sorry,
spiking.
dudes.
It's all right. I saw that a couple days ago, and it's a fake leak. I mean, it's real news, but you know how they're like, oh, whoops.
Whoop.
Yeah, it's not a whoopsie. You know, that's not a whoopsie wardrobe malfunction. You did that on purpose. So. There's a lot of conjecture about it. There's a lot of people saying, oh, is it going to be better than the Kemper or the Helix or the XFX or this and that? I heard it does profiling. I heard it does this and that, and it's got a cool interface on it, and it only weighs this much, and it's only this big. And look, I mean, the Neural stuff, I've never played it. I've had some requests on the channel for me to do some Neural demos and like DSPs and computer-based stuff, and I want to. And one of these days I will, but see, I'm not a recording engineer kind of guy. I don't have like a lot of like, you know, plugins and stuff like that. I have a basic setup here that I do all my recording on, and mainly it's just miking amps are going in direct with a Kemper or Helix or whatever, and I use that stuff just for demonstrations and whatnot. But I've never done a plugin, so I don't even know. I've heard the demos of the Neural stuff. I've watched videos about it, and it gets rave reviews. People say a lot of good things about them. But as you guys know, like until I can play it and feel it, I'm not going to say anything because there's so many things that sound great, and I play it and I'm like, I don't like how it sounds anymore because it feels like crap. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut as far as the quality of that goes, because I really, again, if I don't know, I won't say.
Right.
I don't know how good it is. I've just heard videos, and like I said, it sounded great in those. But I do think it's great that they're doing the opposite of what Line 6 did. Like Line 6 took the Helix, and then they made Helix native that goes into your computer. Yeah. Well, what these guys are doing is they're taking a computer-based thing and putting it in a pedal board. Right. And I think it's great because like a lot of people do like it. And it's like, cool, now I can take this awesome recording type software type stuff with me everywhere I go, whether it's on stage, band practice, or whatever. And I got a foot controller that works it really well and has a lot of cool features on it. So honestly, I think it's a brilliant idea. And I think it's just gonna do the thing that competition does in a capitalist type society, which is the best type of thing to have, is it makes everybody else go back to the drawing board and go, well, now we got to up our game, and it's good for us. We win. So I love it.
Let's see. Jay says, well, let me go up a little bit. TJ Richardson.
Hey,
He's here.
TJ,
Hey,
what's going
TJ,
on, man?
We don't see your name roll through there
Yeah.
very much. He says, no, I can't afford more gear.
Yeah, well, get ready to get a second job, man.
Anthony Miller just joined us.
Hey, Anthony.
Tom Blaze 2 says a red dress, red boots, he'll be watching. Right. I'm going to have to up my game.
Yeah, see, you got up here. See, Nero's doing all kinds of great stuff. She's making her upper game, too. It's amazing.
Jay said he had a chance to try the Nolly and Fortin nameless plugins and thought they were pretty good, but we're still a bit busy in the high end.
Ah.
I imagine the hardware won't suffer from that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I talked to Jay earlier today, and he said he was going to chime in tonight if he got a chance to try those out. And the thing is like, in a mix, some of that fizziness is actually a good thing because it helps the guitars cut through. By itself, it might be a little like, but in a mix, because at the end of the day, that does matter, but I understand the concern because that's always been, should I say problem, issue, or whatever, but that's always been a concern for people that play digital stuff, is that how digital stuff makes high end is usually a fizz kind of thing as opposed to a crispy, great top end that tubes do. And they still haven't been able to really recreate high end or top end without the fizz. And the thing that's come the closest is the Kemper. Because the Kemper makes guitar tone better than all other digital products, in my opinion. But we've proved it on the show in many blind tests. So I'll just put that out there. Here
they come.
Here comes the hate. But watch the videos.
We have 32 people left.
Oh, awesome! Now. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We really appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I just think that with all due respect to all platforms, I think that every year, when somebody comes out with a new thing, it makes everybody else get better. And we're getting close to, should I say perfection? Or at least we're getting close to better and better and better. I'll just put it to you that way. Right now, there's no such thing as crap gear. All of it's so good now. So it's just a matter of which one do you like better. So I can't remember who said it, but we're kind of in the golden age of guitar gear right now, or music gear in general. It's all really good
Probably
now.
Music gear in general, yeah. So the last leak, not that it's a super secret, but the Kemper Cab, or they call it also
Kemper
the
Kone.
Kemper Kone.
Yeah, so they've been teasing us with this for a long time. Like every NAMM, it's like, hey, here's something you can't have, And I'm thinking they have to put it out this year because Kemper Stage came out, and so did the new editor. So it's like, what else do they have?
Yeah.
I mean, not that those things aren't great because they're fantastic, but they have to put out the Kemper Cab this year, and I think that it's time that they did. And I guess it's, on one hand, it's like, gosh, it's about time, but on the other hand, you don't want them to come out with something too early before it's perfected yet, because now it's just bad press and a bunch of returned open box units at Sweetwater and other places, and everyone's just upset with it, and it's just bad. So I think that anything worth doing is worth doing right.
Yeah.
And Kemper is one of those companies that, I mean, they do really good stuff, but I will say that the Kemper Stage came out, and there were some issues, like with some buttons and different things that they had to, exchange for people and stuff. So,
and they did.
And they did. So to their credit, they did. And it happens. It's just, it's what happens when you make things. Stuff happens.
You
get a bad batch of circuits, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it happens. So, but I think that if we've waited this long for it, it's going to be really good. It has to be.
We'll find out.
Yeah, because why would you make a public wait that long for something and then have it suck?
Right.
It'd be stupid. So I think it's going to be really good.
So you've been pretty busy this week, right?
Yeah.
Had a really busy week.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Really busy week. Yeah, lots of
messages. Tone Wars. Our Tone Wars messenger has been blowing up.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't even imagine how you are managing it all.
It's a lot, and I appreciate the people that have reached out. Because a lot of people are really uh, enjoying like what because I kind of do this on the side where I do like consultation where you can hire me, and I can do Skype, I can do phone calls. If you're local, we can get together. I can help you with your gear, hook it up, troubleshoot it, make it more usable for you, and like just help people, because a lot of times we're stuck in a rut and we don't know how to get out of that rut, and it's just that one stupid thing that it's like, oh, if I could only. And I like helping people, because I've had people help me, like Jamie Trevino from the Law One. He's helped me with some things, and I really appreciate that. And I like to do it as well and help people out and like I said, they hire me. It's a nominal fee. It's worth it for everybody, and I've been very, very busy helping some people with some things, and I appreciate them reaching out to us very much, and it's been great getting to know some more people, and I'm learning stuff too, and it's great when you end the phone call or the it's time for me to go, but you see they're happy with their gear, and they're just like, I was almost ready to give up and just like not use this anymore. And now I can use it because we figured out that one stupid thing that I couldn't get past. And it was just great to be able to do that. And I want to say this too. I'm sorry. There's been some other people that have sent me a lot of messages and stuff, and I appreciate that very much as well. And I will get back with you guys as soon as I can. I've just been so busy, dealing, I shouldn't say dealing, but helping people that have hired me, and stuff like that. And I very much appreciate the business and that for them trusting in me to help them out. So I will get back with some of you guys very soon. It's been very busy.
Yeah,
I think it's because I asked after Christmas, right?
Yeah,
like everybody's got new gear, and I think that's what it is. So
that's part of what you wanted to do, though. Too.
Yes.
You wanted to be able to offer that service.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And be there.
And I've enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think we have one more thing to talk about for Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday. As some of you may or may not know, we do. I do a live stream every Wednesday, and what I do is I go live right here, and she's most of the time not here. She's doing stuff
on Wednesdays.
Yeah, on Wednesdays.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought most of the time she's not here. I'm like, wait,
no,
what?
On Wednesdays. Yeah, on Wednesdays a lot of times she's not here. So instead, I'll have a piece of gear sitting where she is. And
no red boots and red dress.
Yeah. I'll try. So, and I'll demo it. I'll put it in full mixes. I'll play it by itself. I'll take requests from you guys where you could be like, what does it do when you do that? Like, let's hear it with the gain at like 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock or, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's hear it without the boost. Let's hear it with the boost. Let's, what does it sound like with delay?
Yeah.
And I could go through all that stuff with you, and we can all learn this stuff together and enjoy the experience together. I could do Q&A. I could do whatever. So you'll hear it isolated and in a full mix. And
did you say what it was? Did I miss that?
No, not yet. I'm getting there. So, and we just have a good time with it because, like, again, you hear it in mixes and stuff like that, and it's great. And then, so, like, this week, thanks to Motor City Guitar, I got the Engel Fireball 100. And I'm going to do a quick, very quick riff on it tonight because I don't want to give too much away.
Don't do something that you always do.
Yeah, because I don't want to get yelled at. I'm just going to play a couple of riffs on this thing, and it'll probably be something that you guys hear me do all the time because it's my tire kicking riffs. But you don't want to miss this episode because this amp is a freaking nightmare of an amplifier. It is a beast. And I got a friend of mine, Dave Seymour, who has one of these. And man, I get it. I get it. I know why you own this because holy freaking crap, is this thing amazing. Right now, I have the gain at just over 9 o'clock. It's at 10 o'clock. And this thing is a rage monster. And it's like, I'm surprised it's not in a cage right now. So let me mute the mic, and I gotta turn off the bypass or the standby, and I'm just gonna play a couple riffs because I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah.
So I'm on, plugged in. Okay, 1 second here, guys.
That was
That's
just
all
a
you
little
get.
tease.
That's all you get, because I don't want to give away too much. But guys, I'm telling you, oh my God, is this going to be a fun night getting to know this thing and mixes and different things. And I got to spend the next few days getting to know it and dialing it in and trying different things with it and getting to know all the little idiosyncrasies about it. And that's one thing I love about doing the show and having Motor City sponsor it with the gear is allowing me to borrow it. I don't give it to me. Gosh, it'd be nice, but I get to borrow it for a few days and get to know it. And it's crazy. I'm falling in love with everything that comes over here, and it's crazy. It's awesome, and it's nice diving into real stuff, real amps again, and just getting to know this stuff and
your back doesn't say so.
Yeah, my back's not liking it, but the rest of me is, So
Gonna find your dolly.
Yeah.
Move that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
I helped him carry it out of the store today, and I was like,
heavy.
All right.
It's heavy, I got to take care of something real quick, but I'll be right back, okay?
Oh, okie dokie.
So
Hopefully
go ahead and
it's
read some
something
comments.
good.
Yeah, it is.
There's no new comments. We're at the end of all of the comments, so.
Oh, make some more comments.
Right. Well, don't forget we have t-shirts. This was, it caught me off guard with this one. So we have Tone Wars t-shirts. We have sizes small, medium, large, extra large. Yeah, Wednesday's going to be fun, Paul, for sure. The t-shirts are $25. That includes shipping. And then we have one bowling shirt, like the button up with the collars, one Tone Wars shirt left from that. That's $45, and that includes shipping. That is an extra large. We don't have any 2XLs. What else is going on here? Okay. Jay retracted a bunch of messages. Looks like you guys are excited about the Fireball amp. Let's see. He's got to change his depends, right, from Aaron Green. That has to be what it is. Usually I have a heads up on when he's going to leave. But this one caught me off guard. I'm like, all right, we're wrapping it up. We don't have anything else to really discuss. And he's gone. Amazing. So our band, Anastasia, took a little hiatus over the holidays. We haven't got together in a few months. And our first band practice is going to be this coming Saturday. So I'm excited to get together with Reno again and start writing some new music that we'll be able to share with you guys. We always try to do it. We wanted to try to do it once a month, and then everybody's schedule got busy. So we will be doing that. Helix Cabana Boy. He changed his name from Helix Banana to Helix Cabana Boy. That is the best. Thank you. We have a special guest. We have a special guest.
This guy got down here and he wasn't supposed to. This is Kitty Witty.
That's Kitty Witty.
Yeah, he's a giant pain in the rear end.
You did have to pee.
Yeah, I had to go.
It's like ready to wrap up, nothing, and
I had to use the restroom real quick. Yeah. And then when I opened the door, this guy jumped down here, and there was no way for me to stop him. So, yeah, This is my buddy. He's like the best little cat in the world.
No, he's horrible. He's a Tasmanian devil. This cat tore up the house.
Yeah, but
shreds.
I love this dude though. He's so cool. He
was
loves
the
me.
Cutest little thing when he was like,
yeah.
This big, so cute.
Yeah, he loves me so much though. Like I can't go anywhere without him. So when I come down here and shut the door, he always waits by the door and he cries and he's just like, "Let me in," So as soon as I open the door, he's like, "Pew!"
He's shot down here, huh?
Yeah. So let me go put him back out. But just wanted to
show everybody Kitty Witty. Give him a close up there.
And that's his name. That's his real name, Kitty Witty.
There he is.
Yeah.
Hey, beautiful. Little freak.
Yeah. Come here, you little stinker.
Let's see. The live feed looks better. Derek, sorry, Barry, I meant to... Oh, he's talking to somebody else. Tony says he has a Himalayan named Sassy.
Oh
we don't know what kind of cat he is. I found him in the woods.
Yeah, you found him in the woods. Well, some people say he's kind of like a Maine Coon, you know.
Yeah, he looks like one, and he's getting so big.
Yeah, he's huge. He used to be the teeniest little thing, and you know, but he was at, you know, when you're working at the campground, he was just wandering
Don't
around.
say I worked at the campground, man. I hate it when you say
I know.
that.
Well, when you worked at Tamarack
It was
camps,
a summer camp.
yeah, yeah, I know.
When I worked at the KOA.
Well, I worked at the campground where he was running around the Shine Distillery, and I picked him up and I said, "Hey, man,
It was
you want
an
some vittles?"
outdoor educational.
Yeah. And I gave him some vittles, and he just won't leave me alone. You.
Yeah, some of the staffers from the camp found him in the woods, and they kept him for a day or two and decided that he needed a home. So.
And she went on Facebook Live with him, walking around on her desk, and I called her. I'm like, "Hey,
He's mine.
he's mine. Before
That's
anybody else
mine.
claims him, I want that cat because he was adorable." And I remember I took him home, and then I had to take him into the store, you know, with me to get like at Pet Supply Plus or whatever to get stuff for him. And
Little
everyone
kitty cat.
was
I think he was probably too young, but they couldn't find his mom because you had to get special kitten milk. And,
yeah, to get the milk and all that. And everybody was like, "Oh my god," because his patterns are so weird. He's like 800 different colors, and he had these big bright blue eyes when he was little, and everyone fell in love with him. And yeah, and like he slept every night on my pillow, right, curled up on my
in
head.
his neck.
Yeah, and it was just like ever since then, we're inseparable. He's sitting by the door right now, wanting to get in. So, but yeah, I just figured why not bring him down here and let you guys see him. So, anyways, so where are we at here? We got 30 people here, and
it's 8:20.
It's 8:20. Okay.
Yep.
Well, we've been on for just almost an hour and a half.
Minutes.
So, all right. Well, let's wrap up with this. We want to thank you all for being here. We very much appreciate that. We very much appreciate you sharing the evening with us. I can't tell you how much it means to us. I can't put it into words. Right. We're honored to have you here, and humbled and honored. We very much appreciate that. And you know, if you guys love gear, which I'm pretty sure you do,
or red boots, I don't know.
Yeah, either one or both. Stop by on Wednesday night at 8:00. I'm going to go live with this guy right here, and we're going to play it.
Fireball.
Yeah, 100, and we're going to play all kinds of great stuff with it. I'll have it hooked up with my Helix via 4-cable method, so what you will hear is the actual amp pumped into an actual Mesa 2x12 with vintage 30s in it, and it's mic'd with a Sennheiser E609, and I'm just using Helix for effects and switching, and I'll play it in some mixes, and we'll just have a great time, have a glass of whiskey together and have a good time. And again, like, these interactive demos are for you to like tell me like, hey, what would happen if you did this? Turn the knobs this way, do this, do that, and I'll do all that stuff for you guys, and we can all check it out together and have a great time. So, you know, I really look forward to seeing you guys here on that night. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. We really appreciate it very much. And thanks to all who gave the super chats. We very much appreciate that. That's what helps keep the channel going. And so I guess we will see you all on Wednesday. And if we don't catch you then, we'll be here next Sunday night at 7 o'clock. You know, so thank you very much for joining us. Yeah. God bless you all. And we very much appreciate you, and we will see you soon.